splendid achievements of the Republic were all drowned in blood. The nation's finest young men perished. Yes, countless women and children, hundreds of thousands were driven into exile. There is no scale in which to measure such human suffering.
The fascist leaders brought planned and practiced terror through organized executions and savage bombings of major cities in Spain. These raids were symbolized by Picasso in his painting of Guernica. Thousands of young Americans formed the Abraham Lincoln Brigade and joined the people of Spain to fight for democracy. But the fascist government prevailed. When Barcelona fell to Franco's forces in 1938, Casals left for southern France. He spent the rest of his life in exile. As long as Franco was in power, he vowed not to return to Spain or to perform in any country that supported the Spanish government. In Prague, France, he saw again the agony of war. Over 500,000 anti-fascist refugees had crossed the Pyrenees in the dead of winter, only to be put in concentration camps in France. In that exodus were the noblest people of Spain, the soldiers and poets, workers and teachers, jurists and peasants who had not bowed to tyranny. Tyrants and brutes had turned his beloved country of Spain into a monstrous prison. He saw what might have been a scene from Dante's Inferno. Men, women, and children herded together like animals, penned in barbed wire and put in tents and shacks. There was nothing for them, massed in the open in the middle of winter. When he saw this, he went into a state of depression. He was near madness or death and did not want to live. With the help of friends, he formed an organization to aid the refugees. They sent out hundreds of letters to countries asking for aid. The response was great. They worked day and night after the supplies were received, loading the supplies onto trucks and taking them to the camps. He visited them often to help buoy their spirits, and he also gave concerts in Paris and other French cities to raise money for their cause. And Prague was like his beloved Catalonia in its environment. The countryside with its lovely patterns of orchards and vineyards and medieval monasteries. In 1941, Hitler's troops occupied southern France, and Casals was forced to live among men who wore the hated swastika. Casals began work on El Pesebre, or the Manger, which would become his peace oratorio. This undertaking helped to sustain him for the remainder of the war.
Throughout my adult life, I have believed in the perfectibility of man. What a marvel he is. What fantastic things he can do with himself and with the world around him. What summit nature has achieved in his creation. And yet, if there is in man infinite capacity for good, there's also infinite capacity for evil. Every one of us has within himself the possibility of both. I have long recognized within myself the potentiality for great evil, of the worst crimes, just as I have within me the potentiality for great good. My mother used to say, every man has good and bad within him. He must take his choice. It is the choice that counts. You must hear the good